Alrighty, I think we're live. Welcome to episode 665 of the Black Brain Trust. This is the Sapio-Males Guide to the Galaxy. We'll be talking about the Sapio-Male, the Sapio-Male and the modern female. Yikes. Rock out for a minute. I'm gonna taste your guys' palates here for just a few, okay? A few tracks. I'm gonna taste your palates real quick. We're gonna go a little. I'm gonna taste. I want to see what you guys got on this, man. Give me a second. Rock out for a minute. Like I said, man, I wanted to go. Oh wait, let's do this too. Oh wait, hold on. Shoot, come on, man. Okay, there we go. So as you come in, I want to do this beforehand. If you come in, you're gonna say what's up, whatever, salute, shout out, peace. You know, hit 8 if you hear music. I had to do this. You know, I want to make sure, make sure this other hack works right. So I don't like do the screen share with the audio stuff and do it in a way where even though I did it, it doesn't do it. So yeah, if you hear it, press 8. On your way in, you know, if you want to say what's up and all that, just let me know. And years ago, they laid down the law. Mesopotamia. Wow, in Mesopotamia? And this might be another one of those instances where maybe like I'm scaring people off. But you know, some people were like, "Hey, dude, play some stuff." So I didn't want to do like a whole live stream with it, but yeah, I was trying to kind of, I dug around, and then I got a couple of, just sort of like alternative joints, man. I wanted to kind of maybe wet people's palates a little bit. I mean, just a little bit, you know. I was trying to, mix it up a little bit. But yeah. So, what are we talking about tonight? Wait, hold on one second. Yeah, let me do that right there. All right. So, what are we talking about? You know what? That's what it is. That's what it is. My daughter was doing some gaming earlier, and it's a little loud. That's what that is. Okay. So what are we talking about? Well, I was having a conversation with Johnny Blaze, good friend of mine, actually. We were chopping it up earlier, and not to get too deep into like a personal conversation, but um, basically, the term modern woman came up, right? So the term came up, and then I forgot. I'm trying to remember how it went. He I mentioned something about it, and then I said, "Hey, have you ever heard that term?" And he goes, "You know what? I used it a few times in a conversation with my lady friend, right? Yesterday, without me even like realizing it." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Now check this out. Have you noticed like there's a lot of videos and a lot of video titles that are kind of in that red pill sphere, the red pill space, whatever, right? That has modern woman in it." And he goes, "Yeah, you know what?" I was like, "Dude, that's what it is." Right. And he started laughing and he was just like, "Damn, you know what, man? Are you telling me I've been socially programmed?" And we started cracking up. We started busting up, man. It was hilarious. And but you know, we started kind of like getting into the whole sort of modern woman meme, I guess you could say, right? Because it's a thing now. Much like how high value man became like a social media meme or a concept, right? Where it basically sort of like creates an archetype for a type of person that you encounter in real life. And so, you know, what I'm finding here is that what's sort of like the modern woman meme is so for example the high value man thing, right? There's like the criteria, right? 6-figure. Then there's I usually can't say this without laughing. The LinkedIn requirements, and there was a few other items, right? I think you have to be making 6 figures for a certain amount, and then you have to make a certain amount per month. You have to been doing this consistently for like 5 years or something, right? Whatever. That's the criteria, right? And then on the other side of the equation, there's D-Rock. Peace, brother. Hey, can you press 8 if you hear music, man? Just do me a favor. I'm just trying to see if my sound is all good. If the sound is all good. Yeah, if my sound is all good. Yeah. So yeah, that's all. Like I said, I wanted to just wet people's palate. I was just kind of playing. I played like some B-52s and then like some Vinyl Williams. I told you I was gonna try to like do the little kind of altish music type stuff. We'll see. I don't know, man. Y'all know how like y'all know how black folks do, man. Cool. Okay, bet you can hear it. All right, cool. That works for me. All right. So, um, so it's kind of like you have the outline or the criteria or what have you for you have it for the high value stuff, right? And then with the modern women stuff, man, it's basically sort of like I think it's career centric. So you're career oriented, right? I guess your what you bring to the table, quote unquote, is like your education, right? Your salary, history. It's basically the modern woman essentially basically brings to the table what a man brings to the table. Okay, basically that's what they do. And if you can it's kind of hard to do, right? I challenge myself to do this on occasion. to watch one of those exchanges that Seven Granules has with like the typical chick that calls in and says that they want like a high value man, right? And it's like when you listen to it's like cringe. Like your skin like literally crawls, right? And I have to force myself through it. But what I try to do is I'm studying, right? I'm like, okay, what is it? And then that's what this is what I've learned here is that there's like maybe like a certain part of the female brain that's been developed like a male's. And I would even posit to say that the opposite is the same. And that might be what it is that you even find in like the, well, I don't want to say that. It, let's just say like if one's been programmed, the other's been programmed in a similar fashion, just to and to the same effect, but they're the opposite, right? But given that I'm a male, I'm observing my opposite, right? And I'm looking at how my opposite is having trouble interfacing with their opposite, when this opposite has no trouble interfacing with that opposite, right? So it's like, okay, well, what's going on with you? And when I really do like listen in on those exchanges and stuff, I'm like, okay, so here's what's happening. They intrinsically understand that they're women, right? But they have the thought processes of a man, but they don't. So here's the thing: there's no, okay. How am I trying to say this? Okay, like, even if I were to tell them this, they would not understand what I just said, because from a man's perspective, I'm like, oh, I see what the problem is. Like, yes, you're a woman, you experience female emotions and all that, but there's a part of you that thinks like a dude. There's a part of you. It's just a small part, but it's the part that's really causing a lot of problems, right? And where you find it is when the whole table, the table argument happens, right? Or not argument, it's just the whole sort of, what do you bring to it, right? They'll ask like, well, what do you bring to it? And like I said, they'll say the same things that I would say for the most part. They would literally say the same things, right? So I'm not really trying to delve too deep into their idiosyncrasies. I'm just highlighting them, right? And I'm highlighting them because as a Sapio-Male, like, I'm looking at your mental disposition and your intelligence and your application of such, not so much like your, not so much your, your academic accomplishments. I mean, look, even in this, even in like sort of like this Black YouTube sector, there's a lot of like male channels that like who kind of maybe sort of like take a critical or kind of like a like a sarcastic tone towards like sapiosexualism, especially as a male, right? And what they'll do is they'll talk about, well, educated women, they'll do this, they'll do that. No one's talking about educated women. I'm actually talking about the fact that what modern women do is actually use their education as a selling point. And I'm like, no dice. See, so when guys think that a sapio dude talking about a sapio chick, I'm talking about a chick who went to college. I'm like, no, not a sapio woman could have went to college. My wife did, but she didn't bring her master's degree to the table, dude. Like, in hindsight, she would have preferred of not to have gone, but she did. But it didn't. It was neither here nor there. She was trying to do something completely different from her master's degree. That's what she thought of it. She was listening to her mom and her aunt. But intrinsically, she understood what it was that made her happy in life, and this is what I'm talking about. She wasn't leading with her degree. None of that shit, dude. None of it. Like I said, she wanted to just go ahead and put it there, leave it alone, not deal with it, and go and start a French cafe. That's what she wanted to do. Her degree was not in starting French cafes, okay? Hell, it wasn't even in business. But she would not be a modern woman. She was actually a couple of years older than me. So, and I'm a Gen Xer, right? So we're definitely kind of, well, there's women in her age group, right, that do fall into that modern woman category, but she wasn't one of them. It's more prevalent with the younger ones, right? I'm literally, we're talking like starting like when you go age 40 and back, basically. dude, something is up. All of them, man. I don't know if they all like have like an implant, dude, like a chip or something in their head. I shouldn't say that. I really shouldn't say that. Because that was just really just like, dude, like, I just went full on like they probably just have a chip in their head. But it's really interesting, man. Because like I said, what I'll do is I kind of do like my social observations through like dudes like Seven Granules. So I'm really kind of listening to how like he'll ask a question and they answer it. Now, as a sapio man or sapio male, right, who is attracted to intelligence, I'm keen. I'm keenly in tune into how a woman responds to me. Okay, I listen intently. I'm listening to your words, your syntax, how you put the words together. Because if you say something to me that really like kind of hits me, I'll be like, damn, how did you put that? How did you get that? Not how did you get that, but it's just like, damn, that was quite a thought that you just put together there, right? When there's evidence, you know, when there's evidence that there's some intelligence there to do just that, right? So so the way to know this would be to actually have conversation and dialogue. This is why I find his exchanges so interesting. I'm listening to the exchanges and the dialogue, and I'm like, okay, did you just hear the question you just asked? Okay, I'm like, okay, because I heard the question that he asked. So why was that the answer that you just gave? Like, what's going on in your head that put some thoughts together to put that response together? Like, okay, like, and I'm saying, see, as a sapio male, that's my disposition. But then I'm looking at what it is and what goes on in the mind of the modern woman, and I'm like, sheesh, how compatible are we? And this is kind of what I'm kind of looking to maybe just explore a little bit, because I've unequivocally said numerous times, multitude of times, I'm not. I personally, I'm not for every chick. I've said this, so this is why game isn't necessary for me. I already know, because just me, who I am, my personality, my quirks, what I do, and all that kind of stuff. I'm not the type of dude who could go out and be like game, 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 game. Because in my how I am in my own environment, I'm an introvert. That's just kind of what it is. I spend a lot of time tinkering and creating shit and hacking at shit, and when I'm not with my daughter. There you go. There's another part, right? I'm an active dad. You know, um, her and I. Part of the reason why I pushed this back a little bit is because we just got involved. We got engaged in a conversation about like ancient history and stuff. You know, and she had her iPad. We were in the garage, and she had her iPad out, and she had Google Earth up, and she was just picking this country, this country, this country, this country, and I was telling just the history about what's gone on in all these places and stuff. You know, so even like with my daughter, it's kind of like she, there's a she she's feminine, she's female, she's very girly, but she applies logic, right? She thinks, she has questions, she's curious about things, right? And I think a lot of modern women may have grown up, and I don't want to say they weren't curious about things. I don't want to say that. I just maybe like, I don't know, the father figure wasn't there to kind of like take them on those sort of like imagination journeys where you're telling telling a child something, and then what happens is you'll notice that their eyes kind of like either lock in one place, and you'll see that their brain is starting to imaginate, if that's a word, right? It's starting to, oh, I'm sorry, imagine what it is that you're saying to them, right? And then through this exercise, what happens is that there's a question and an answer, a visualization, and then there's sort of like a memory that's created in the brain of that conversation, and then you can recall it, right? I don't know if a lot of modern women have really kind of had those experiences with like older men, like let's say in their families and stuff, maybe with their grandfathers and stuff, but typically with your father, that's going to be every day because he's your father. Uh-oh, a little loud. Just a little loud. It'll be a daily thing, right? I find with my daughter, it's a daily thing. Oops, my bad, you guys. I find it's a daily thing, but I can also kind of see what the effects that it has, because see, there's a lot of questions that she asks me that I'm like, damn, the average 9-year-old doesn't ask these questions, but ask away. Absolutely, totally, ask away. And what I found was in our conversation earlier, she would ask me a question and then I would respond, right? And then she would respond with another question related to my response. And I was like, oh, see, so given my response, there was something else that she was able to springboard off of that. See, so more. Okay. Now, imagine, if a girl is growing up and she's having these type of interactions, what's happening here? She's developing the proper way of understanding the world, getting the proper context of the world. Now, I'll get a little more specific about that exchange. It was essentially about like kind of like the Middle East. Pardon me. If I'm like sniffing and coughing a little bit, I guess because I was working out in the yard earlier. Got corn, beans, tomatoes, got a bunch of stuff, man. I'm planting. So, and the trees are blossoming, man. So I was out there today. So I'm just kind of doing some allergy stuff. But at 9 years old, if you're able to sort of kind of contextualize the conversation about, let's say, the Middle East, right? So we were talking about like Israel, Jordan, Syria, Beirut, Lebanon, all these places in this area, right? And I was giving her the historical context of this. A lot of stuff we talk about on the Brain Trust, right? So I'm just repeating the same stuff we talked about there, right? And then so when I say like, well, the thing about it is that, this state was established in 1948, and what happened was it was originally just all Palestine. Then they partitioned it, and then they issued a piece of it to the Jewish people, and they created the state of Israel. But then over time, what it is that they've been actually annexing more lands from the Palestinians, and it's caused conflict and stuff. Then there were times where there was a war with Syria, and then they war with Jordan, and and I was explaining to him like the kind of like the history of that region and what's going on. And so when I was saying this, she kind of stops me. She goes, "Oh, so is that why a lot of people don't like them?" I said, "Well, damn." And then I had to be very careful how I answered that. But here's the thing. She's 9. Okay? Her mind is that sharp. And like I said, she doesn't think like a boy, though. She's a little girl. She's very much a little girl. Trust me on this. Okay? So she doesn't have like that male mindset thing, but she's very curious and inquisitive about the world. Okay? So that's the intelligence factor versus my education, my master's, where they say I'm a PhD, right? There's a difference. Like, preferably speaking, I do the right things here over the next few years, and I get into a position where she didn't have to worry about college or going to school and all that. I'll just make sure that things are set up in a trust where she's the beneficiary of her father's hard works. Okay, that's the most ideal scenario for me. And then what she could do is spend her time doing the things that she truly intrinsically enjoys doing, being productive. And because she understands she had her father in her life, she won't have a problem being a helpmate to someone else. There'll be so much value she'll bring to a man, right? See, so like as a little, when I observe my daughter, right, I can see stark differences between her at 9 and say like a modern woman and her modern thought patterns, and in her formative years at 9. I can already tell she didn't have the kind of exchanges and interactions the modern woman at 9 that my daughter's having. And I'm using my daughter for an example because we literally just had a conversation that really kind of gave me something to kind of bolster this conversation on. It was literally just about 3 hours ago. Yeah, like literally like around 3 hours ago. She had her iPad out and she was going through all the country, all the continents, and you know, another thing. It was like, she's pulling up like she'll look up expensive homes in Africa, right? And then she'll look at all these beautiful homes. And then she asked me, Dad, she's like, why do people say that, you know, that Africa doesn't have water and that Africa isn't nice? And I said, well, babe, because they're not from Africa. I said, but my business partner's from Africa, and a few close friends of mine, very good close associates, are from Africa, and they'll tell you a completely different story. I said, listen to people that are from Africa. I said, what are those pictures showing you? She said, it's showing me that Africa's beautiful. Okay, but I don't know if these kind of conversations were being had with modern women when they were 9 years old. I really don't. Because it would be hard for me to understand how it is that they think today, particularly about their male counterparts, how they view their a man's role in their life. And typically, Sapio dudes, guys like myself, I mean, we essentially we're in the shadows, we lurk, right? So it's kind of like when you observe these things, look, okay, if you observe that there's a house that's on fire and there's no one in it, you're not going to go run into it, right? If you already know there's no one in it, you're not going to go run into it. So through observation, if I really just kind of know what the makeup of, the majority of the modern woman is, don't ask me to engage. And then they are oftentimes curious about where are guys like myself? Where are they? We're way back here. We've been peeping you guys for a good minute, and we're back here for a reason. I've been rambling for quite a minute, I think. I'm not really sure. I think I have been rambling for quite a minute. Let me see how long. Because I don't even have the tab up. I have the where I'm because I have like my music queued up, so I'm kind of like picking tracks and stuff. But this is a mix, so this is gonna play for a while, right? So I can switch tabs now. But let me see what's going on. Holy shit! There's 10 people watching, and I've been going for 30 minutes, dude. I don't know if it was the weed I smoked maybe like about an hour and a half ago or something, but damn, I've been rambling for 30 minutes. Holy shit. Okay, let's see. Let me check the. Okay, well, let's see. Hey, what's going on, Adele? What's going on, Devin? D Rock Den, what's going on? Seeking my creator, peace. Rael, what's going? Oh man, what's going on, brother? Welcome. Hey, what is your personality type? Oh, you mean like the Briggs Meyer? It was like iron something. Yeah, it was I in something, man. I got hip to that through my wife actually, because she was in education, so she used to like profile children, so she knew how to how to approach, like if they were having like problems or issues like learning like a certain subject matter or something, or if they noticed like certain like behavioral sort of quirks, she would use the Briggs Myers scale to kind of profile them, to kind of tailor how she would approach like teaching them. And so that's how I learned about Briggs Myers. But it's INF something, I think, man. Yeah, INF. Is it INFJ? It's an IN and then INF something, or INJ INF something. Yeah, that's what it is. One of those. Because she did it on me actually. She profiled me and she said, "Yeah, you're an INFJ or something like that. Whatever those are." I just remember her saying INF something. Yeah. I know that came up as a topic. Um, it came up as a topic. I'm trying to remember on which live stream it was. And there was a chick who actually came up there, and she was basically saying that she was saying she's an INFJ. I think that's what she was saying she was, and she was an empath, right? And I'm a bit of that too. Like I feel people's energies and shit. Like, yeah, I know it sounds weird, but that's why I kind of recoil and retreat. Like I could be like open and charismatic and all that, and then cause I can turn it on, turn it off, right? So it's just like when I feel too much, I'll be like, all right, I'm turning this shit off, man. I gotta go lay down. Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of I think that was what mine was. INFJ or yeah, some one of those. Yeah. Um. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let me, let me do right here. I'm trying to. Yeah, that's good right about there. All right. Um. Let's see. I think that was kind of like the opening part for the most part. Let me see. It was really just sort of like it was sort of like kind of like the Sapio's take on the modern female, right? And like I said, like this the topic sort of really actually came up in a conversation with Johnny Blaze. Um, and I told him that it's totally too late for him to join. He's knocked out. He's on the East Coast. Um, yeah. It was just sort of like this the modern woman trope. There's a pro. It's like an archetype, and I'm finding that the majority of women have this prevalency. They're prevalent in this sort of modern woman archetype where they firmly INTJ. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. Dude, I'd have to look at the scale again, man, and figure it out. I have to look at it again. I just know it was IN, then two more letters. And I think I'm saying FJ because that's the one I always hear, but I don't think that's what it was. It's probably TJ. That's probably what it was. Um, but yeah, it's sort of like what I noticed. What I just noticed though is that they have this sort of okay. If it's sort of like because they're women and they have like this sort of male thought pattern thing. When you add the two together, they intrinsically think that you can kind of have it all or something. I can't. I'm trying to like, and then what they do is they rationally fight through. They irrationally try to fight through rationale, right? Rationale basically says, dude, you simply cannot have it all. No one can have it all in life. There's just no way, right? You just can't, right? But to let them tell it, yes, you can, dude. That's like what am I trying to say? That's like hardcore delusion, dude. That's like or fundamental delusion. Let's just say that. That means the delusion is so ingrained that you have to really think. It's like, okay, is that a result of sort of like this combined thought modality where it's like if you're a woman, but you have this mind to compete like a man, and then you combine the two, then you think you can have it all? Is that what it is? Because they literally struggle with this notion that of like, don't tell me I can't have it all. And it's like, dude, wait, do you realize that no human in the history of existence has ever, quote unquote, had it all? Like what the hell? And like I said, as a Sapio-Male, I value a woman's ability to apply intelligence. So listen, if you fundamentally think you can have an all, I fundamentally am not compatible with you, because I'm fundamentally looking at you like, dude, you are devoid of intellect and full of delusion. Oh my God. And it's like, if you, like I said, the 7 ground wheel stuff, I mean, this is why he's blowing up and got call after call after call after call after call. It's like woman beating her head against the wall, against the wall, against the wall, against the wall. Why are you telling me I can't have it all? It's like, dude, because it's like simply not possible. Are you really telling me that you're having problems like processing reality? And it's just like, yes, I am. And it's just like, oh shit. And like I said, as an intelligent individual, as a Sapio-Male, okay, yes, an intelligent male and a woman that's devoid of intelligence, there's no compatibility there. There isn't. There's none. So the only thing you could do is just observe and look. You can admire maybe, you know, the shape and the form, sure. Yeah. I've been on record saying, hey, dude, I'm a legs and hips guy, right? That's me. Hey, yeah, I'll give that to you, sure. Dude, I don't know where the fuck your head is, but yeah, you got a nice shape on you, yeah, whatever. And that's all I'm going to give you. Don't ask for anything else. Don't even ask for a pumping up or hit and quit. Nope, because see, too many bad things could happen out of that. Then that's me not applying intelligence, right? Just saying. D-Rock, then you say that's what it is. Okay. So perhaps my suspicions were correct. Think about it. if you only have like, if duality exists within you, then that means there's two sides that need to be assuaged, right? As a male, I'm a singular person, and as a male, I'm a male, right? I have an anima and an animus, yes, but I'm a male, right? So I don't have a feminine side. My feminine side would be a woman. Okay, not like me within me. Okay, no, not within me. No, the feminine side would be the woman. All right, but see, in your modern woman, you have the woman, and see her masculine side would be a man, right? Wrong. Not in the modern woman. The masculine side also exists within her. Now, they're the ones that are in tune with both. Dude, it's weird. It's weird. See, don't ask a guy to do it, because when a guy does it, what happens is his masculinity gets reduced, and the next thing you know, you're not masculine enough for me. And then it's like, okay, well, listen, I'm in my whole masculine frame. What I'm going to need you to do is turn your masculine shit down, because here's the problem. You're on turbo right now with your shit. It's like you got the feminine and the masculine shit, and you're just out of your fucking mind. Again, you want it all. Name a human who's ever had it all, quote unquote. None. Your appetite is too insatiable for your own logic, reason, and rationale. Get a fucking grip. again, the position of the Sapio-Male: thinker, intellect, observation, psychology. To better understand your environment. That includes other human beings. So, the Sapio-Male position on the modern woman is quite a curious one, now is it? I mean, outside of maybe these type of conversations, and there's nothing really much. Well, let's do this. Here's what I did do. I humored myself, and I said in 2020, what I'd do is I'd go kind of maybe hop around and dibble and dabble in some other panels, right, that were talking about the relationship stuff. And what I would do is I would try to inject like a sapio position or a sapio angle that would kind of sort of take more of a higher unitary position, right, like more of a universal concept type of position, universal law based type of position, right? And so yeah, well, what happened is that oftentimes it would be met with that's a really good point, and then it goes right back to the other shit, right? So it was like, all right, I saw how that was received, and then that was why the whole sort of Sapio live stream started happening, right? Because I was like, all right, it has to be had a different way, right? But this is what I'm talking about. It's like, this is how it has to be had, and it has to be had like this. And then you have to really just do your social observation from afar. You don't want to engage too much, especially when from your observation you already know there's very little compatibility. It's kind of like there's not much there for you. Okay, let's see. Let me check the comments here before I step away for a quick second. Because the little boy's room is calling. I got a Stelly Stell right here and a bottle of Fiji water, and I'm sipping on both. So my bladder's like, yeah, brah. And here, you do this. Okay. So yeah, I'm curious to know, and maybe there's some modern women who want to give me their take, perhaps, or not. Doesn't really matter. Again, this is more like just sort of an observation and sort of like a dialogue, right, on just the Sapio-Male modern female sort of dynamic, because that's essentially what you have for the most part out here, right? So how do dudes like us deal? How do we deal? Especially when you can already make these observations from afar and draw conclusions and say, hey, no one's in that burning house. Don't ask me to go run up into it. So we'll do this. I'm going to do my typical, 45 minutes. Well, that's not a record. I think my record is actually 50 minutes before taking my little step away break. But I will do this. There you go. There's a link. I think it was D-Rock Den who gave me an 8 earlier. So yes, you guys should still be hearing music. So with that, just rock out from it, or just kind of vibe out. Yeah, I would say rock out. I did start with a little bit of rockish type stuff. Oh, real quick. Well, the moment's passed. Never mind. Yeah, I kind of gave you guys a taste of where I want to go with the music. But what I saw was that literally no one came in here until I started playing like some more sort of like soulful shit. I tried a little bit of rock. I tried a little bit at the beginning, and it didn't work. Everybody, like one person would come in and then leave. Another person would come in, they're like, "What the fuck?" And then so, damn, I was hoping, man, I could do something with because I have a playlist, man. That's dope, man, for some rock stuff, man. Never mind, y'all ain't gonna dig this shit. I keep saying I think y'all dig it, but no, it's not gonna happen. All right. So the link is there. If people want to do or don't, that's cool. But I do have to step away because I gotta go pee. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And I had a quick sneezing spell. Sorry about that. Oh my God. Yeah, that was like close to a new record for the amount of sneezes in 20 seconds. Jeez. That was like about a good 9 or 10. No, like 8. Yeah, it was like 8 in a row. Each sneeze probably takes about 2 seconds. Two plus. Yeah. That happened. That literally just happened. Okay. I'm back. All right. Give me a second. Wow. Wow. Like I said, man, like everything's blooming, so allergies. And I hope this doesn't turn into another live stream where I succumb to like an allergy invasion, like literally mid live stream. But that happened like about 3 minutes ago. All right. Okay. So let's see here. I posted the link. All right. Do I have anything else on? Well, I mean, do I have anything else? Let's see. Let me just kind of dig back into what I was saying. I think what happened was I started sneezing, and then my brain forgot about what I was talking about because it was preoccupied with sneezing. Modern women. Okay. There was a follow-up observation I did have. Let me think back. Oh, okay. That's what it was. So, Bronze Bird, what's going on, brother? Welcome. Feel free to join, man, if you can stick around. But I would say that the other observation would be like in the inverse, right? So the modern woman's perception of the Sapio-Male. here's the first thing. The first thing that pops into her brain, right, is either beta male or socially awkward. Okay, that's going to be the first two things that pop into their head. I can tell you this by experience. Okay, it's also, if you're a black Sapio-Male, because there's Sapio-Males that are more than just black. This just so happens to be here, and this is a black male speaking it, right? But the other assumption is that you don't date black women. If I had a Bitcoin for every time I heard that one, imagine how much money I would have. Like I'm not even playing, because I think Bitcoin just hit like 60K again. Right. I think Bitcoin just hit 60K again. So my question to you again is, if I had, or not my question, my statement is, if I had a Bitcoin for every time a sister told me, you look like you don't date black women, think about how much money I would have. So these are typically like the first three things that come to the modern woman's head when they encounter a Sapio-Male. Trust me on this, okay? You're either beta, you're Socially awkward, okay, or you don't deal with them.
No remix.
Okay, that's basically the three-step the three-step process when it comes to the modern woman and her perceptions of the Sapio-Male. Okay, and so here's what happens, right? So myth number one gets dispelled, right? The beta male myth, because here's what happens. Let's say you engage in a conversation and a subject matter leads into a display of your intellect. Right off the bat, the mere fact that you command you command a space where you know and understand your knowledge and you can demonstrate it. Okay, that's not a beta trait. Okay, that's not a beta trait. Okay, second thing, socially awkward. Okay, the mere fact that you have the ability to converse intelligently, maybe a little witty, you know, you got a little sauce in your convo. Oh, dispels the myth that you're socially awkward. See, maybe through her weird observations, you're socially awkward, but in your own reality, guess what you were doing? Minding your own fucking business. Why? Because, you're not a pussy hound like that. You're not running around ogling chicks, running up on them, trying to quote unquote spit game and all that, right? So since you're not doing that, you're awkward. Or so you thought. Right? So you thought. The third one. Oh, well, you don't date them. You don't date sisters. You don't do this. You look like the type that does this and do that. Think about what you just said. You look like, well, that's through your eyes. Doth thine eyes deceive you? How did your eyes give you that impression when you don't even know me? Have you asked me out on a date and I said, no, I don't date your type? And then your reply was, well, what do you mean by that? And I go, the black type. Did that happen? No? Okay, you shouldn't be thinking that then. If that never happened, you shouldn't have that thought. Or if you've never seen me prior to our encounter with someone other than a black woman, you shouldn't make that assumption. So, all three of those myths get dispelled. Here's what then happens. You don't exist. Yes, you don't exist, Sapio-Male. No, you don't. Not to the modern woman. No, right? Because here's the thing. You check all the boxes. That's the reality. You check all the boxes. They can't out-intellect you. They can't out-create you. And there's things about the world that you have a far greater understanding of, right? Like you can educate them on some shit. Now, that's not to say that they couldn't possibly educate you on some things, but again, remember myth number one, the beta dude, right? That's not you. That ain't you. Okay, you're learned in all facets of how the world is working here, So that's not you, right? You take a command of things. You're a creator in your own right, and a damn good one at that. own it all. And so if there's a little bit of arrogance that comes across, yeah, then, you know, that's a bit toxic. You know, your masculinity is a little toxic. You know, you're mansplaining. I'm just saying, right? The Sapio-Male and the modern female. So I'm trying to say all these things to contextualize why I've said this whole time. Like, look, Sapio women women who self-identify as that 5%. Do they actually those women actually value and treasure the type of attributes you bring to the table, because those attributes, like, you can't quantify them. Like, you have the ability to create a company that could sell for millions or billions even. Or the will, the intent, the motivation, and the drive to fucking pursue it. So maybe you don't get the billions, but perhaps you get some millions. Or a couple million. Hell. Aim high. You know what I'm saying? What is it? Aim for the stars, land on the moon. That's what it is. Like, there's the type of mindset, man, that no modern woman can really supersede, man, as a male. Like, your ability to create something, your ability to process data, utilize your logic. As a male, these are your strong suits. This is as a male, this is kind of what you're preordained to do. So any woman who would think that, you know, she's going to get into any sort of situation with you and outdo you in that, be gone. Go away. Because number one, that would never happen. And then number two, if I actually dealt with you, chaos is going to ensue. And I don't need that shit. So, I mean, that's kind of what this live stream is basically kind of about, right? Because there's a thought, and I'm gonna kind of wrap this up, because this is a new record for me, man. It's going literally over an hour. I'm like at an hour and 4 minutes, like when I just talk by myself. I want to say that's a new record. I think it is. Oh no, I think it's like an hour and 10. But by the time I finish, I'm wrapping up, I think it'll probably be like past an hour and 10. But yeah, usually if I don't have anybody join a panel or anything, I'm not gonna sit there and just talk forever. Because it'll usually take me about an hour to kind of, actually usually take about 30 to 45 minutes for me to get it all out. And then at that point, I'm like, all right, well, that's that. So to kind of maybe just kind of contextualize it or wrap it all up, you know, really this was just more of like the Sapio-Male's view of the quote-unquote modern woman. Right? And how it is that, you know, the compatibility dynamic comes into play. And the modern woman's mentality, there's not much compatibility there, right? Especially if what it is that you require is, you know, like the feminine application of intelligence. I said feminine. I didn't say feminist, feminine. Okay, that's the aim. That's the goal. That's what we're looking for, right? So yeah, you know, this is just a Sapio-Male's thoughts on the modern woman. Yeah, I don't really have anything else on it. Not much else on it. This will be a short one for tonight, which I guess is cool. So I can get some work done. I can get some goddamn work done. I got it. I got this app's got to go up this week coming up. It's got to go up. It's got to go up on the app stores this week coming up. So yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll just go and just get some work done. So with that being said, my goodness, appreciate everyone for rolling through. And shout out to like the person who that comes through and just gives the the one dislike on these live streams. I mean, yeah, it's like I'm not really sure what I'm saying that you dislike, but it's all good. I seriously try to think about it. Like, I wonder what they dislike about this. I'm curious. You know what they should do. When you click dislike, you get the thumbs down. They should have a little dialogue box that says, "What specifically did you dislike about this? Just curious?" ? And then maybe the person can go, "Oh, the host of the live stream's personality is extremely abrasive," or they'll just say, "I just hate this person," or they're just like, content sucks, or it's like, "Oh, my bad, I accidentally hit dislike," something. I think YouTube should do that. I might actually feel that I might actually take the time to write in their suggestion box, "Hey, if someone hits a thumbs down, can you have a little dialogue box pop up and then just say, 'Just curious, why did you dislike this?'" I want to know. Like I'm dead ass, dude. I'm dead serious. I want to know. It's good. For research purposes. You can get more data, learn about what it is, your subscriber base does and doesn't like, or let's just say the person who gave you the thumbs down isn't even your sub. I would like to know, well, hey, you're not even a sub. Just curious. Why did you give me a thumbs down? Just curious, Oh my God. This song right here that you hear, The Rotating Assembly. And the name of the song is called Orchestral Hall. Yes. This is some heavy, heavy, heavy house shit right here, man. You just basically flip some orchestral music, dude, into some house music, bro. Like, this is like, okay, Rotating Assembly is, let me see. Rotating Assembly is Theo Parrish, Marcellus Pittman, who else was in it? It's a gang of dudes. It's like, it's just a gang of folks. I mean, because there's like some chicks that are vocalists that are in it too. But it's like 17 musicians, dude, in the Rotating Assembly. That's why they call it that. They all just kind of collab and make stuff, right? And then they throw it all into one album, and they call it the Rotating Assembly. But this joint's called Orchestral Hall, man. This joint is crazy. I'll let this rock out before I shut down because I love this song. And the other thing too, what's interesting? If you go into the search, the YouTube search, right? And then you type in like sapiosexualism, or if you go to like Google search and you type in like sapiosexualism, it's mostly like brain trust. And like, that's like my channel, the brain trust shit. It's like, that's dope. It's like just yet another thing that we can kind of claim to be SMEs on, subject matter experts. Well, who the hell else is talking about it? Like, in a way where people understand it. as a social construct, right? Not only that, but as a human modality, right? You think about all your various, I guess you could say, sexual dispositions. You know, there's the homo hetero bi, demi pan, there's all the other ones, right? And then there's sapio, which is, I'm just saying, that's in a different realm entirely, right? And it's why oftentimes I would say, like, in this sort of social media space anyway, it's not really like a known concept or construct, right? So what we'll do is we'll just continue to explore it more. Trust me, there's so many angles, and there's so many angles we can explore it from. Right, it's literally, sometimes it's like me looking at a flower gives me a thought. You know what I mean? It could be something as simple as that. So we'll continue to have this dialogue more. But yeah, I just wanted to listen to the remaining portion of that.
That's from the upcoming project that I've been working on past.
Yeah, that's Theo Peristalk in the background. This is from a Radio Nova mix. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for coming through. Hit the like button and shout out to the dislike. Let us know why you dislike it in the comment section.
How do you feel right now?
And I'll definitely be back tomorrow. Cause Sunday is like my day off, right? So I got a cannabis live stream there. I also have a tech talk that I've had scheduled, man, that I need to do. So we'll be doing those tomorrow. Okay. So with that, you guys have a good rest of the evening and peace.